Business Registration Service, Ease of Doing Business, Customer Service Charter. This charter is a declaration of our commitment to provide quality service delivery to the public and a reflection of our dedication towards matters related to provision of business registration services. It outlines customer rights and responsibilities and the procedure to follow if our service standards are not met. Vision: doing business made easier. Purpose statement: to provide quality business support services that are responsive to our customers throughout their business life cycle. Core value: customer centricity. Core functions of the service: carry out registrations required under the Act, maintain registers, data and records on registrations carried out by the service, implement relevant policies and guidelines, and provide the Cabinet Secretary with the necessary information to guide the formulation of the policy and amendments of existing policy and guidelines. Carry out research and disseminate research findings in fields covered by relevant laws through seminars, workshops, publications, and to recommend to the government any improvement in the relevant laws, and collaborate with other state agencies for effective discharge of its functions. Our commitment: fairness, transparency and accountability, responsiveness, privacy, confidentiality and integrity. Accountability: service review and continuous improvement. The following are our services listed in the order of services rendered, client requirements, user charges in Kenya shillings, and timelines. Answering incoming calls and responding to inquiries. The client is required to make a telephone call to the office on Monday to Friday. User charges are free and the timeline is immediate. Written correspondence. The client is required to put his or her inquiry or material fact in a clear and concise language. User charges are free and the timeline is within 7 working days. Attending to visiting clients. The client is required to visit our offices and seek service. User charges are free and the timeline is 10 minutes. Resolution of customer complaints, that is, written. The client is required to register complaint verbally, put in suggestion boxes, or make normal correspondence. The charges are free and the acknowledgement is within 2 working days and a substantive response within 7 working days. Response to emails. The client is required to make a written inquiry. The user charges are free and the response is within 2 working days. Resolution of complex complaints and inquiries in nature. The client is required to make a written inquiry. User charges are as prescribed and the timeline is 30 days. Access to information. The client is required to make a written request or fill in the access to information form on www.brs.go.ke. User charges are as prescribed and the timeline is within 21 working days. BRS social media pages. The customer is required to submit a written inquiry on our social media platforms. The charges are free and the timeline is 1 working day. Issuing of bid documents, EOL, RFPs, and RFQs. The customer is required to access the tender documents on www.brs.go.ke. User charges are free and the timeline is after immediately advertised. Registration of service providers, that is, pre-qualification. The client is required to have mandatory documents for specific categories as specified in the procurement guidelines. Charges are free and the timeline is 30 days. Payment for goods, services, or work. The customer is required to supply goods, services, or work as per the contract or LPO or LSO receipt of proper documentation, that is, delivery, invoice, signed LPO, tax compliance, etc. Charges are free and the timeline is within 30 days for fully approved invoices and/or certificates. Company registry, business name. BN. Registration of business name. Customer requirements BN2. User charges 950 Kenya shillings. Timeline 1 day. Changes in business particulars. Customer requirements BN4. Charges 850 Kenya shillings. Timeline 5 days. Cessation of BN. Customer requirements BN6. Charges 200 Kenya shillings. Timeline 1 day. Certified copies. Charges 200 Kenya shillings. Timeline 3 days. Official search. Charges 200 Kenya shillings. Timeline 5 days. Limited liability partnership LLP. Registration of LLP. Customer requirements LLP 1. Charges 25,000 Kenya shillings. Timeline 1 day. Changes in LLP particulars. Customer requirements LLP 9. Charges 2,000 Kenya shillings. Timeline 3 days. Conversion of BN. Customer requirements LLP 1. Charges 25,000 Kenya shillings. Conversion of company to LLP. Customer requirements LLP 7. Charges 25,000 Kenya shillings. Timeline 1 day. Certified copies. Charges 200 Kenya shillings. Timeline 3 days. Official search. Charges 200 Kenya shillings. Timeline 3 days. Declaration of solvency. Charges 2,000 Kenya shillings. Timeline 1 day. Companies. Registration of companies. Visit www.brs.go.ke or email us on registrar@brs.go.ke. Timeline 1 day. Changes in companies. Visit www.brs.go.ke or email us on registrar@brs.go.ke. Timeline 5 days. Alteration of the status of company. Visit www.brs.go.ke or email us on registrar@brs.go.ke. Timeline 5 days. Annual filings. Visit www.brs.go.ke or email us on registrar@brs.go.ke. Timeline 3 days. Registration of charges and debentures. Visit www.brs.go.ke or email us on registrar@brs.go.ke. Timeline 1 day. Dissolutions and restorations. Visit www.brs.go.ke or email us on registrar@brs.go.ke. Certified copies. Visit www.brs.go.ke or email us on registrar@brs.go.ke. Timeline 3 days. Official search. Visit www.brs.go.ke or email us on registrar@brs.go.ke. Timeline 3 days. Movable property security rights. E-collateral registry. Search certificate. Customer requirements. E-citizen account grantor identifier or motor vehicle chassis number. Charges 550 Kenya shillings. Timeline immediate. Confirmation of registration of an initial notice. Customer requirements. E-citizen account, that is, details of the grantor, details of the secured creditor, collateral details, duration of loan, and grantor's consent. Charges nil. Timeline immediately. Confirmation of an amendment notice. Charges nil. Timeline immediately. Customer requirements. Registration number of the initial notice, the information to be added or changed, the reason for amendment. Charges nil. Timeline immediately. Confirmation of registration of a cancellation notice. Customer requirements. Registration number of the initial notice, the reason of cancellation. Charges nil. Timeline immediately. Hire purchase. License to conduct a hire purchase business. Customer requirements. Form HP 10 license. Financial statement as prescribed under the Companies Act of 2015. Charges 50,000 Kenya shillings. Timeline 1 day. Application for renewal of a license to conduct hire purchase business. Customer requirements. Form HP10 license. Charges 50,000 Kenya shillings. Timeline 1 day. Official receiver in insolvency. Individual applications. Insurance of compliance certificate for debtors petition in bankruptcy. Client requirements. Form number 9, Form number 10, Form number 11 and Form number 8. User charges 30,000 Kenya shillings. Timeline 1 hour. Insurance of compliance certificate for creditors petitioned in bankruptcy. Client requirements. Form number 3, Form number 4, Form number 5, Form number 9 and Form number 6. User charges 30,000 Kenya shillings. Timeline 1 hour. Application summary installment orders. Client requirements. Form number 24, Form number 29. User charges 20,000 Kenya shillings. Timeline subject to creditors' objection. Application for individual voluntary arrangement. Client requirements. Form number 8, Form number 10, that is amended, Form number 11, Form number 23A and debtors proposal. User charges 30,000 Kenya shillings. Timeline subject to creditors' approval. Application to admission to the no asset procedure. Client requirements. Form number 8, Form number 9. User charges 15,000 Kenya shillings. Timeline subject to creditors' objection. Company's application. Application for members' voluntary liquidation. Client requirements. Form number 32A, Form number 32B and Form number 32. User charges. On the first 1 million Kenya shillings, pay 100,000 Kenya shillings, 10% on the balance thereafter. Timeline within 1 year of appointment. Application for creditors' voluntary liquidation. Client requirements. Form number 32A and Form number 32B. User charges. On the first 1 million Kenya shillings, pay 150,000 Kenya shillings, 10% on the balance thereafter. Application for company voluntary arrangement. Client requirements. Form number 32, Form number 32C, that is amended, Form number 32D and Director's proposal. User charges 40,000 Kenya shillings. Timeline subject to approval by creditors. Application for administration through court. Client requirements. Form number 32, Form number 32D and Form number 36. User charges 40,000 Kenya shillings. Timeline 1 hour. Issuance of a certificate of compliance for a liquidation petition. Client requirements. Members petition, that is director and shareholders. Form number 32C, Form number 32D and Form number 32. Creditors petition. Form number 32C, Form number 32D and Form number 32E. User charges 40,000 Kenya shillings. Timeline 1 hour. Obligation of customers. 1. Be courteous and respectful to our employees. 2. Uphold transparency and accountability in your transactions with BRS. 3. Provide accurate information and complete documentation where applicable to ensure efficient and faster service. 4. Provide adequate feedback on service delivery through various channels, e.g., website, social media, and feedback forms. 5. Provide suggestions on service improvements. Obligation of Business Registration Service, BRS. 1. To be honest, ethical, professional, and treat customers with sensitivity, respect, courtesy, and maintain appropriate confidentiality. 2. Deal with customers quickly, courteously, fairly, and within established timelines. 3. Endeavor to use simple language where service is dealing with non-English and non-Kiswahili speaking background customers. Interpreter services shall be provided where possible. 4. Respond in timely manner while responding to a request for information. Dispute resolution procedure. Level 1. Report the complaint to the relevant office in charge. Level 2. Report to the complaints handling committee through complaints@brs.go.ke. Level 3. Escalate the complaint to the BRS Director General if the resolution is unsatisfactory, or Level 4. appeal through the Commission on Administrative Justice, that is, Ombudsman, or any other relevant law enforcement agency. Access to information. Every customer has a right to access to information by the Business Registration Service. 2. Business Registration Service shall publish and publicize all information for public consumption. 3. Access to information of the service can be accessed through www.brs.go.ke and, when a special request is made to the service, through writing. Commitment to courtesy, responsiveness, and integrity in service delivery. Any service that does not conform to the above standards, or any officer who does not live up to the commitment to courtesy, responsiveness, and integrity in service delivery should be reported to eo@brs.go.ke. Complaints at brs.go.ke. Website www.brs.go.ke. In case the customer feels that the Business Registration Service response is not satisfactory, they can seek redress from the Office of the Ombudsman using the following contacts: the Commissioner Secretary CEO, Commission on Administrative Justice /Ombudsman at 2nd floor, West End Towers, opposite Aga Khan High School, off Waiyaki Way, Westlands. P.O. Box 20414-00200, Nairobi. Telephone number +254 2022 70000, +254 2303 000, +254 2603 765, +254 244 1211, +254 8080 30666. Email info@ombudsman.go.ke, that is for general enquiries. Complain@ombudsman.go.ke, that is for complaints. Website www.ombudsman.go.ke. Huduma bora ni haki yako. The Business Registration Service is a corruption-free zone. It is an offense to compromise or give bribe to a public servant for delivery of services.